Book 411. Paulus. Desist from plying my grave with your tears, by Prprts. Paulus, desist from plying my grave with tears. No prayers will open the gate of darkness. Once corpses have entered the jurisdiction of hell, inexorable adamant blocks all routes. Though the God of the darkling court may hear your plea, it is certain the heedless shores will drink your tears. Offerings move the gods. When the ferryman takes his fee, the pallid gate bolts out the grassy tombs. This the sad trumpets told, when a pitiless torch was put beneath my bier and sapped my person. What has marriage to Pallas? What has my forebears' triumphant chariot availed me? What children? Such tokens of my fame. Cornelia has not found the fates less sour. I am what 5 fingers might gather and carry. Hateful night and you, clogged puddles, swamps, whatever fluid envelops my feet. Untimely perhaps, but not guilty. I have come here. May the Father give my shade a gentle verdict. If some Anacus sits in judgment, urn in place, my lot being drawn, let him defend my shade. Let his brothers sit near and close to Minos's chair. The Eumendes stern throng, the court intent. Sisyphus, rest from your rock. Ixion's wheel, be still. Teasing water, let Tantalus suck you up. Today let unruly Cerberus rush at no shade, and his chain hang slack from its silent bar. I plead my own cause. If I lie, may the sisters' atonement, the woeful jar, weigh down my shoulders. If the fame of ancestral trophies ever brought honor, African lands speak Numantian lineage. My mother's clan of Libanese levels the balance. Our house is upheld by its renown on either side. Early, when my bordered dress was put away, before my marriage torch, and a new headband caught up and bound my hair, then I was brought to your bed, Pallas, soon to be sundered thus. On this stone it may be read engraved that I have been espoused to one alone. I call to witness my forebears' ashes, tended by Rome, beneath whose inscription stricken Africa lies, and Perseus spurring his heart with the thought of being a descendant of Achilles, and whatever descendants of Achilles demolished your homes. The censor's law was never relaxed for me. No spot in me has made your hearth fire blush. Cornelia was never a smutch on spoils so great, but rather set an example to a noble house. My life was constant, the whole was free from reproach. We lived respected from the marriage to the funeral torch. Nature gave me laws that are drawn from forebears. From fear of judgment no higher could be attempted. Let the urn deal me whatever harsh votes it may. Yet she shall not be shamed who sits by me. Not you, who towed the rope, the lagging Cybele. Claudia, rare priestess of the tower-crowned goddess. Not you, whose fine white linen showed a living hearth, when Vesta demanded back the fire damped down. Nor have I done you wrong, sweet source, my mother, Scribonia. Except for death, would you have me changed? I am praised by a mother's tears and civic grief, and the groans of Caesar are my ashes' defense. He bewails the passing of his own daughter's worthy sister, and we see a god's tears flow. I earned, moreover, the stole of fecund honor. My kidnap was not made from a sterile home. You, Lepidus, you, Paulus, are my comfort in death. I closed my eyes in your arms, and I saw my brother twice in the cruel chair in the festive time when his consulship began. his sister was taken. My daughter born to mirror your father's time as censor, make sure you cleave by my example to one sole husband. In turn secure our line. The fairy puts out for me, and I assent, so many tending the growth of my good deeds. This is the last reward of a woman's triumph, that uninhibited talk should praise her well-earned tomb. I commend to you our children, our mutual pledge. This care still breathes, is fired in my ashes. The father must fulfill the mother's role. Your neck will have to take the weight of all my mob. When you kiss their tears away, you must kiss for me. The whole domestic load is henceforth yours. And if you will grieve at all, let it be alone. When they come, guile them with dry-cheeked kisses. Pallas, enough for you the nights you wear out. For me, and the dreams you often believe have my face. And when in secret you speak to my picture, deliver each word as though I shall reply. Yet should our marriage bed be made afresh, a tentative stepmother occupy my couch. Speak well of and bear with your father's wife, my sons. She will surrender to you your manners. Don't praise your mother overmuch. Loose speech that makes comparisons will often cause offense. But if, content with my shade, he remembers me, and still esteems my ashes as myself, learn promptly to perceive advancing age, and leave no access for a widower's cares. May the years subtracted from me be added to you. Thus may my children gladden Pallas's age. All's well. As a mother, I never was in mourning. The entire squad came to my obsequies. I rest my case. Arise, my grieving witnesses, while kindly earth weighs out my life's reward. Heaven is open to virtue. May I be found deserving, and my shade be carried to join my honored forebears. That is Book 411. Book 411, Pallas, desist from plying my grave with tears, by Prprts. And that is the end of the poems of Prprts. And just for that last poem there, which I don't believe is really an epitaph to Prprts himself, but is the kind of got that elegiac tone to it at the end. Some critics, number 411, this is the note on it. Some critics have found this piece too coldly marmoreal. I cannot agree. True, Cornelia's insistence on her irreproachable conduct and on the fact that she was well connected is not easy to warm to, but it is a very real from a patrician Roman viewpoint, and the lady was a Roman patrician. Also, such passages are, for me, outweighed by the straightforward humanity of the rest of the poem, especially the lines 78 to the end, in which Cornelia speaks to and about her children. It is interesting Prprts commemorates movingly in this poem the death of a person related to Augustus, even mentioning briefly Augustus's personal grief, lines 62 to 4, without any touch of irony or ruscato. Perhaps his sympathy was larger than his politics. So yeah, it's a poem about the death of a Roman patrician of Cornelia, but it's an interesting note to leave Prprts on. So yeah, that is my fairly probably challenging to listen to reading of Prprts' poems. Which I'll say at the end of the thing, this was translated by W.G. Shepherd, who was born in Kent in 1935, and has indeed translated a bunch of people. And the advisory editor was Betty Radis. But all apologies for all the many mispronunciations, probably messing up with the text. This is a little project I'm doing. Hey, this is probably the only way I would have actually gotten through an entire volume of Greek, of not ancient Greek, of ancient Roman poetry. Um, and yeah, well, it's not Catalyst for me in my heart. It was interesting to dive into that world and be sunk into that world for a little bit. All right, we're going on to the Scarlet Letter next. More videos later.